Welcome back to Backward Point Podcast. Today, our very esteemed guest is Ali Khan Tareen, the owner of Multan Sultans. We get to talking about an amazing array of ideas, an amazing array of things. Firstly, we have to talk about the horrific tournament that Multan Sultans just went through in PSL number 10, what he thinks went wrong, what actually were the pitfalls that he had not seen before. And then we go deep into the PSL management. He was talking about that. He talks at great length about this again in this episode. And then we talk about the PCB management, the current Pakistan cricket setup, how Pakistan cricket is supposed to progress from here, what he thinks about the future of Pakistan cricket. That and many more. And Ali Tareen is full of stories, full of anecdotes. He loves talking. We love listening. It was a great pairing. Ali was a great guest, very generous with his time, because when we started recording this, it was about 1 a.m. in Pakistan where he was. And we really appreciate his time. So thank you very much, Ali Bhai, for listening, for coming on the podcast. 90 minutes straight, this man talked. Outstanding work from Ali Tareen. I hope you guys will also enjoy the episode. And I hope you guys will check out the description below for our sponsors, Sendwave and Yashi, and what they have to offer. Because again, these guys are doing the hard work to keep the lights on in here. Check out our Patreon as well if you want to. We had a few Patreon questions come in as well. Some of them were really nice. And just a whole lot of positive energy from this podcast. Hope you guys will enjoy it. Without much further ado, Ali Khan Tareen on Backward Point.
अली भाई पिछले कुछ महीने से नज़र जो है वो मुझे पेस्टर कर रहा है कि वी नीड टू गेट अली ऑन द पॉडकास्ट. और मैंने उसको बोला अली भाई पिछले कुछ महीने में काफ़ी पॉडकास्ट राउंड्स कर चुके हैं, तो आई डोंट रियली फील लाइक ही हैज़ एनीथिंग ब्रांड न्यू टू से. लो एंड बिहोल्ड PSLX हैपेंस और फिर जो हुआ मुल्तान के साथ, यू गाइस वर 5 straight playoffs, 4 straight finals, 1 championship, और इस साल one of the worst PSLs by any franchise in history. जब आप ये सुनते हैं, what is your immediate reaction to this?
Nothing much. As an owner, this is the first time my team hasn't qualified. Whereas with every other team, there are multiple times they have not qualified. So I don't think it's a big deal.
So you're very nonchalant about this. There's no red flags, no red lights.
Every single year. Let's say if every team was picked randomly, or anyone picks, people through, I don't know, throwing darts at a board, because जो आपकी categories हैं, platinum, diamond, gold and so on, it's the structure is so balanced कि हर team मतलब competitive होती है, ठीक है? And regardless, some people have amazing teams on paper, some people have horrible teams on paper. Every year 2 team last आती हैं, 4 टीमें qualify करती हैं, उनमें से एक जीतता है. So it's fine. For example, take Lahore, for example. They did 2 straight finals, and the year after they came last. And then the year later, they won the final. They won the final again. So
we were talking about, Multan Sultans being sort of a dynasty for the past 4 years. And when we follow other sports, the Bulls with Jordan, Kobe and the Lakers, we see that unka ek rise aata hai, they have a period where they're dominant, and then there is a time to blow the team up and rebuild. You're not looking at the next season for Multan Sultans as that.
Dekho, the word dynasty. I'm a big sports fan. I'm following, obviously, the Lakers with Kobe. You take the Bulls with Jordan. You take Manchester United under Ferguson. Take, I don't know, Chelsea. Take Liverpool back in the day. These teams play for the entire year. For the most part of the year, they're playing all the time. That is when you can see the gulf in quality between the best team and the rest. That's when they can build upon the same team and keep winning and show the gulf in quality between, the champions and everyone else. That is what that's what dynasties are. Okay, they were the champions, they were the best team in the league, and so on and so on. And every year, when they keep adding players, they can keep improving their squad. Sometimes they have bigger budgets, sometimes they have these generational talents who are with them for 10, 15 years. In franchise cricket, which is basically a tournament, a 30 to 40 day tournament, जिसमें you randomly collect a bunch of players who have played everywhere and are with you for that month. They're going to play the tournament. They're going to play 12 matches, 11 matches, and then move on. This is not enough time to really show dominance over the rest. So in franchise cricket, you can have the best team, worst team, and on their day, the worst team could easily win. A quick cash drop ho gaya, quick run out ho gaya, quick kuch ho gaya, someone's out of form. Anything can happen in franchise cricket. So it's the margins are so small because even the way the leagues are structured, The budgets are the same. The categories are the same. Everyone has to have 3 platinum, 3 diamond, 3 gold, 2 emerging, and so on, so on. The roster you're picking from is the same. So it's made in a way that everything is fair. So you really can't have that one dominant team for long. So in the PSL, specifically, I'll talk about the PSL. Okay, if you're the best team, let's say Multan Sultans, 4 years, 4 finals. Over time, all our young local players who are performing well for us will go up in category. So take Abbas Afridi, Khushdil Shah, take Mohammad Rizwan, take Osama Mir. These guys came in silver, emerging as silver. Then from silver, they go to gold, gold, they go to diamond, diamond, they go to platinum. So naturally, because the limitations on how many foreign players you have and so many, so on, so on, we can only pick 2 local players in platinum or 2 local players in diamond, or you have to have 3 at least in the first 3 categories.
Yeah.
So suddenly we have too many local players in platinum and diamond, and we have to get rid of them and choose between them. So we have to release these players because that's how the league is made. And then underperforming teams, for example, Karachi last year, who had no one in platinum and diamond, they poached all of our players because they were available. And now then they had a good season and we had a bad season. So the structure is such that no one team can stay dominant for so long. The fact that we played 4 finals in 4 years, despite multiple rebuilds in between, was amazing. People don't appreciate the how amazing it was. Okay, having a team which was batting heavy, converting that to a bowling heavy side with bad draft picks and trading people away, and still making the final. This is a huge achievement. People have gotten used to us playing in the final, so for them it's a big deal if you don't make the final or don't make the knockouts. But again, every year 2 teams don't qualify for the knockouts. As an owner, this is the first time my team has not qualified for a final or for the playoffs. So whereas every other team has faced it multiple times. So I'm not too perturbed. Kisne to aana hota hai.
I'm hearing you sort of vouch for like maybe a bigger PSL window. Is that what I'm hearing?
No, I'm saying it's a tournament. No, it's not a league format. It's, you call it the league, but it's just a tournament. So in a tournament system, anything can happen. Tournament cricket kuch nahi ho sakta hai. Take Champions League for example. Anything can happen in Champions League. Upsets hote hain. Take any championship, any tournament. So if you can't compare to a league. You have to compare to a tournament.
थोड़ा सा अब रिवाइंड करें पीएसएल शुरू होने से पहले पीएसएल ड्राफ्ट पे
Yeah.
क्या आप अपने पीएसएल ड्राफ्ट पिक्स से खुश थे?
So at the time of the draft, we were very happy because all the targets we had, we got. So if you look at the team from last year to this year, it is pretty much the same team in terms of the structure. We have Rizwan and Yasir as the openers. We have Tayyib Tahir in the middle. We have Kamran Ghulam this time, practically the same kind of player. Then we have Iftikhar at 6 as our finisher. Then we have Chris Jordan, David Willey as our number 7, number 8, who is one is a power play specialist, one is a death specialist. We have Osama Mir in the middle. And then we have emerging fast bowlers like we had last time. Pretty much the same squad as last time. Structure, I would say individually we've made some improvements compared to last time. Is dafa, it was the same structure. Obviously, we're relying on the same overseas players to lead us like they did last time. Is dafa Johnson Charles chalo injured ho gaya tha right before the tournament started, but we got Shea Hope, which is not koi khas fark nahi unme. So the fact that we had the same structure and the same players a year later, the fact that all of them decided to underperform at the exact same time, obviously no one could account for this at the draft. So even take Michael Bracewell, for example. He was, even after the draft, he was having an amazing season. Pakistan ko usne dhoya tha with the ball, with the bat. He was just unplayable. Hamare paas aake, after the first game, he decided that actually, I don't want to field or bat or bowl well. So
I feel like that's more like a Pakistan problem. Whereas like Michael Bracewell ke samne Pakistan rakh do, wo Virat Kohli ban jata hai.
Exactly. So it was again, not that I want to put a blame on any player. Obviously, he was also bichara pareshan ki, I don't know why, but it's just not happening. Everyone's due a bad season, but for all of our players to have a bad season at the exact same time was something obviously we couldn't expect.
The Michael Bracewell pick in hindsight, it looks kind of dodgy because you guys had an opportunity to pick David Warner.
No. So David Warner was picked the second pick. We got the 5th pick in the draft. So,
but you said that you guys weren't eyeing on Warner because you don't see that him as a team man and he might not buy into the Southern Punjab ideology. Why is that important to you?
So initially, when we were looking at our first pick, and most people saw this in the draft, okay, there were a lot of openers available. Openers beintahasha the. There was no one in the middle order. So much so that Quetta, with their, I think, 4th pick, they picked Mark Chapman, who was going to miss the first 4 games. So that's how desperate people were to pick middle order batters. And when we picked Bracewell, I was slotted at number 5 and left-hander, and he can bowl in the power play. So for us, he replaced Khushdil and with the bat and the ball. And obviously, we felt he was obviously more reliable than a local player, even though Khushdil had a great season this time. But consistency-wise, obviously, Bracewell is a superior player. He also captained New Zealand, so that was the reason. And right after the draft, he was amazing. Everyone is messaging us, yeah, what a pick, what a smart pick, what a smart pick. Well, okay, off season. I'm sure he'll go on and continue to do well. He's a great guy and a great cricketer. So, but you get bad season every now and then. So
Aliba, you very smartfully dodged the question that he actually asked, which was, "Are you regretting not picking David Warner?"
Oh, sorry. Obviously I couldn't
Very
pick David.
diplomatic of you.
पहली बात हुई I couldn't pick David Warner. और obviously मैं तो कह रहा था कि when we're looking at teams, हमारे लिए we had already earmarked Johnson Charles as our opener, and we knew we'd be able to get him in the supplementary round. So we were not prioritizing an opener with our first pick. एक तो ये बात. Secondly, regarding what we had generally heard from people, obviously now that I've met David Warner and we've hung out, obviously he's a really good guy, really fun guy. So
He's a lad.
what the things we were told about him, obviously maybe कोई साडू गोरा हमें बता रहा था, तो उसका different experience.
Maybe अपने source को पकड़े आप.
देखो, maybe the way he was treating these Sadhu Goras, Englishmen, maybe it was different than he's treating us cutie pie Pakistanis, So
Cutie pie Pakistanis, yeah.
Difference hota hai.
We met him in 2019, right after the whole Sandgate scandal. He came to Canada to play a league here.
Yeah.
When I heard your comments on what your representation of him was, and when we met him, completely different.
I just want to clarify. This is not my opinion I was sharing. I was not saying कि मुझे लगता है. I was saying मुझे लोगों ने कहा है. अब उससे मुझे क्या है, मैं अब उसी की बात मानूंगा ना. अब दे रहे हैं उसको मैं पैसे.
We have here that the Rizwar combo would have been lethal from a marketing standpoint, from a branding standpoint, and just from the whole aesthetic of the Multan Sultans.
To also complement Rizwan's batting style as well.
Yeah. Agreed.
What could have been the butterfly effect of that?
Are you happy with the PSL category renewal process? Because, I mean, just looking back, Muhammad Ali, based on his last PSL, was categorized as a diamond pick.
Yeah.
Or I look back at his stats. Muhammad Ali Daisy in Multan balls like Glenn McGrath, and outside Multan, he balls like Ashok Dinda. So, like, how is he still a diamond pick? Ashok Dinda catching strays.
एक आप लेना कि obviously how they perform after they've been given a category, वो तो obviously hindsight की बात है. But if you look at it at the time of the categories, Usama Mir is a Pakistani leg spinner, and the other Pakistani leg spinner is Abrar. Abrar was in the national team. Usama's out of the national team. Abrar was in diamond, and the guy on the bench, Usama, is in platinum. How does that make any sense? So it's just, again, now that we were the worst performing team and we are going to have the early picks, मैं तो कहूँगा हसन नवाज ये तो platinum से कम बिल्कुल नहीं है. I think हसन नवाज, साहिबजादा फरहान, platinum. ये आपको लग रही है gold player है, platinum player है.
You are ready to create some chaos.
मैं तो आ रहा हूँ वापस in this के guy हसन नवाज, साहिबजादा फरहान, अब्रार, तीनों को platinum करो.
I love it. You have chosen violence, and this is not going to be bloody.
अब तो हमारा मौका है ना मजे करने का. अब तो हमारा मजा आया. आप ना देखना कि मैं कैटेगरी में क्या मैं यार मचा के आऊंगा.
We have to interrupt this Ali Khan Tareen podcast for 1 second to bring you a special message from our friends at Sendwave. Sendwave has been sponsoring this podcast for months now, and you've heard it during the PSL dailies. With our code ScorePK, it is the easiest way to send money back home to Pakistan if you're in the US, if you're in Canada, if you're in Europe. This is the way to do it. Now, before using our code ScorePK, you would get $10 off of your first transfer. But now they've made it even better. This is insane. $20 off of your first transfer if you use our promo code ScorePK. $20. That's on us. That's on Backward Point with the help of Sendwave. If you're looking to send money home, it's just post-Eid. People want to send more money home. There's a lot of events and parties and all that stuff going on. Use our code ScorePK. At least for the first time, it's a no-brainer to do this. Go home, pause this podcast, do it right now. Download the Sendwave app, get yourself verified, send money home, use our code ScorePK, get $20 off. What that means is, if you send $100, it's $120 on their bank account. If you send $80, it's $100 on their bank account. Not only that, it's one of the most competitive exchange rates that I've seen. The way that Sendwave makes money is not through the transfer fees or anything like that. It's through the exchange rate. So that's how they make their money. There's nothing going out of your pocket. Anything else, Backward Point and Sendwave are putting money back into your pocket. Use Sendwave, use our code SCOREPK, and let Sendwave know we sent you by doing that. Just helps the podcast, helps keep the lights on in this place, and helps us bring more guests like Ali Tareen and others onto our platform. So thank you very much, Sendwave. Thank you very much for you guys if you guys use the code. And now back to your regular scheduled programming. We're already hearing from next year because there's a lot of the quick clarification here. So this is why you might be our spokesperson to actually identify what the next year is going to look like.
Yeah.
10 saal ki aapki lease thi for this team. There are talks about renewals. I think you guys get first purchase or whatever that contract looks like. There's also talks of maybe 1 or 2 more teams coming in. If that happens, then the retentions are going to be completely different. If that happens, the whole structure of what the PSL teams look like this year would be completely different next year, correct?
Yep. You know what the sad part is? This is what really irks me about the way PSL is managed. Right now, you and I and everyone listening have the exact same amount of information about what's going to happen next year. Not only this, you guys, the two of you guys, me, everyone listening, all your housemates or people who live in your building, okay, and every single person in the PCB, in the PSL, all of us have the exact same information, level of information about what's going to happen because they have not even started thinking about it. And that is what irks me कि यार अब हमारी लीज खत्म हो गई है. अब PSL 10 has passed. अब भी मतलब चंद महीनों में ideally team should be bidding and renewing and सारा हलचल मचाओ. अभी तक हमारी मीटिंग क्या है, उनकी इंटरनल मीटिंग नहीं हुई कि how will our 2 teams being added, yes or no. मतलब हमें अंदाजा है कि probably होगा, but जितना आपको पता है उतना मुझे पता है. And we're on the inside. मतलब if I ask someone in the PSL कि bro क्या सीन है, मतलब 2 teams पक्की ऐड हो रही हैं, हाँ most likely because no one knows. And when I ask them, what's going to be the valuation, कहते हैं उस पे तो हम अभी करेंगे बात, मतलब उस पे हम अभी डिस्कशन शुरू करेंगे. So again, I know exactly the same as the people living next door to you.
You went on a huge podcast run right before the PSL, and you were so vocally critical of not only the PSL management but the PCB management. It was actually quite, for us who have also been in the same camp as you, very refreshing. कि यार, we're not being gaslit. ये वाकई में इस तरीके से management हो रही है. Have you gotten any response from anyone higher up about the criticisms you made publicly?
No. Basically, I generally try to not share, opinions. Obviously, sometimes said just because they were funny, but majority of the things I said, let's say vast majority, non-funny things जो थे, they were all facts. If there's someone who can say कि नहीं यार ये बंदा गलत कह रहा है या he's misrepresenting the facts, they would have come forward. No one did, because again, I'm just highlighting these current issues. I'll give you another example of So I had no plan of going on podcast and doing anything, saying something controversial before the PSL. It's just that my frustration level just kept growing and growing and growing and growing. और जब PSL जो शुरू होने वाला था ना, I was done. I was like, यार बस हो गई मेरी. I cannot take this incompetence anymore. I cannot take the lethargy from these guys, this mediocre mindset. I am done with this. So when someone in the podcast said, this is going to be the biggest PSL, so how do you feel? I was like, क्या मतलब? कैसे होगा biggest PSL? कैसे होगा biggest PSL? So that really pissed me off. Or
By the way, iconic run by you.
Really went up. We really got all my frustrations out. लेकिन मैं एक चीज बता दूं. Although I was like, maybe I've said too much या जो भी, उस रात जो मुझे नींद आई थी, I slept so peacefully. I felt so much at ease. I felt light. कि दिल की सारी भड़ास निकल गई थी. I felt really nice. तो नींद बहुत
बात शायद ये कि जिन लोग आपने ये बातें बोली थी वो भी शायद they probably slept at very ease because उनको फर्क नहीं पड़ा होगा बहुत आपके बोलने का.
100% कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ा होगा. Although the only thing these guys care about is media. तो मीडिया में अगर बदनाम हो रहे हैं ना, they get really affected.
So you didn't hear anything even though वो बदनाम हो रहे थे मीडिया पे.
I didn't hear anything directly. Obviously जो आपस में लोग बात कर रहे थे वो मेरे तक पहुंची थी, तो फनी था. तो again I'm like हाँ ठीक है, I'm telling people I severely dislike you. Obviously you should dislike me also naturally. It's fine. ठीक है,
Apparently,
everyone doesn't have
PSL
life
भी
today, यार.
it's like the biggest event in Pakistan और सिर्फ 3 लोग उसको मैनेज कर रहे हैं. अभी
Oof,
रिपोर्ट्स आ रही सुनने में कि
depressing.
PSL PCB PSL को एक सेपरेट एंटिटी बनाने लगा है. तो do you think that's going to
बन गया,
help
वो
with
बन गया.
crowd management?
That's
बन
happened.
गया. चलो shit.
That's
Okay.
happened. That's happened. So on this point, I was अभी recently बात भी की थी इस पे. इसका फायदा क्या हो रहा है? मतलब इनिशियली ये बात थी कि अब अगली अलग हो जाएगी, then you won't have to do go through PEPRA rules and ये वो, which is great. But now there's a separate entity, and we'll have dedicated employees for it. Cool. So when do we start interviewing them? What's the interview process? Obviously, now a separate company, we make millions and millions of dollars a year. So obviously, we should be hiring absolute top candidates, people who MNCs want, like people from Nestle, Coke, Engro, these top companies. No, actually, we're going to give you rankers from PCB, and we're just going to appoint them in the top positions in PSL management. I'm like, but why? Why? Like, if they've been with you for 15 years, हमारा इसमें क्या कसूर है यार? Why do we have to suffer your rankers? So
Rankers से God
honestly,
loves you rhyme होता है. I'm not gonna say it, but it's
that is
मैं कह रहा हूँ, rankers से God loves you rhyme होता है. I'm not gonna say it, but our audience is mature enough to know.
rankers are good. They should be part of organizations. Everyone should not be just fresh hires, but they should be. We should be. देखो, the person who's heading the separate entity, multi millions. हमारा ये इवेंट होता है, मैसिव इवेंट होता है, सिक्योरिटी होती है, इंटरनेशनल डिप्लोमेसी इज इन्वॉल्वड इन इट, प्लेयर्स आ रहे हैं, जा रहे हैं. अभी देखो कितना इशू बन गया था विद द पाकिस्तान इंडिया थिंग. इट्स अ मैसिव एक्सरसाइज. व्हाई कैन वी नॉट इंटरव्यू? चलो, यू वांट टू सजेस्ट योर रैंकर्स, दे शुड कम इन द इंटरव्यू प्रोसेस. इंटरव्यू में पढ़ लिखे लोग हों, कोई PSL के लोग हों, अली नकवी पढ़ लिखा डूड है, वो आके बैठे, बाकी लोग बैठे. वी शुड बी पार्ट ऑफ द इंटरव्यू पैनल. सब इंटरव्यू करो इकट्ठे. चेयरमैन साहब आप आए, PCB के लोग आए, लेट्स डू मेक अ कमिटी एंड इंटरव्यू पीपल. नहीं, हम अपने रैंकर को हमने अपॉइंट कर दिया, ये ले आपके लिए तोहफा आ गया. अब हम बैठे होते हैं कि यार यही एक्सेप्ट करना पड़ता है हमें, अब क्या करें.
So you've also said publicly that it's really hard to make money in the PSL if you're a franchise owner. Plus, you have
No. Let me clarify. It
Yeah.
all depends on the franchise fee that you have agreed.
Okay.
Right now, for the same team, for the same license, for everything, every team pays a different amount of money, regardless of how much money they make or how much money they get from the PCB, just based on the name of the city and when they bought the team and so on. Quetta obviously the cheapest, and then it gets progressively to Zalmi, Islamabad,
I think Lahore, Karachi are the most expensive.
Lahore, then Karachi, and then Multan, because we bought the team late.
Yeah.
So everyone pays a different franchise fee every year, and whereas the revenue is pretty much the same. But the sponsors, original theory ये थी कि क्वेटा को पैसे कम मिलेंगे बनिस्बत कराची जो बड़ा शहर है, बड़ा ये है, बड़ा वो है. But over time, what we've seen is this basically become a market value for a PSL jersey's chest, title, back, leading sleeve, not only because the same tournament, same number of matches, same quality of players, everything is exactly the same. So
Yeah.
why would people pay differently for it, right? Obviously, कोई ताल्लुक होता है, you get a bit more, a bit less, but 19-20 का फर्क है. Majority of the teams get the same amount of money through sponsorship. ठीक है?
Yeah.
So if
But-
someone has a franchise fee at $1 million, someone has it at $6 million, and they're making the same revenue, obviously there's going to be a difference in profitability.
Yeah.
So people who are paying high franchise fee, like Multan, like Karachi, like Lahore, it is very difficult for us to make money, whereas teams like Quetta, Islamabad, and Zalmi, it's easy for them to make money.
So if it's difficult to make money and dealing with the management is a headache, then
pain, yeah.
what is actually in it for Ali Tareen to do this? Why do this?
I, unfortunately, absolutely love cricket. I love being part of cricket. I love scouting players, getting players in the academy, doing camps, listening to the coaches and the analysts talk and discuss things and make plans against them. Itna maza aata hai. It's just such a privilege to be part of it that I absolutely love it. So
even with all the noise and the red flags all around you, still
matlab
the passion oversees that.
originally when we bought the team, Ehsan Mani
Yeah.
was there. ठीक है, so everything was feel good. पाकिस्तान में अभी आया था, नया पाकिस्तान में आना शुरू हुआ था PSL. Our first tournament was still in Dubai. फिर final आया था पाकिस्तान. So it was good vibes all around. और लग रहा था कि अब broadcast deal चल रही है and the dollar and rupee wasn't too bad. So everything was in a good place. And we were thinking, okay, everything is going up. So we are in. We want to be a part of this journey. And generally, the feeling we got was, we as owners would be our core stakeholders in the PSL enterprise. But what's happened over time is that owners realize कि हमारी मतलब कोई औकात नहीं हमारी. Like we have no say. And the PCB is just using this like a cash grab कि बस आप पैसे दे रहे हो, you're tied to the contract, you're making money, not our problem. And I saw this gap between अच्छा कि we are all together, we are stakeholders, we are united to हर speech में these guys say it. असल में we are like, but हमारी कोई say नहीं है, कोई हमारी power नहीं है, we can't dictate anything, we can't decide anything. And that has recently become very apparent. Secondly, we've seen कि even PSL wise, it's not going up as much as it used to. Now it's kind of stagnated. This year it's kind of going down. So now I'm like, acha, if it's in a league where I can see TV numbers are down, in seat attendance is down, quality of players, मतलब PSL से हम IPL से हम clash कर रहे हैं, it's you can see कि now we're kind of, chalo, if I'm being generous, I'll say we're stagnating. But obviously, factually, you can see with the numbers down that we're in a decline. Ab is decline mein, my view of the future is now completely different. So I'm not thinking, actually the money I've paid is fine, because over time the value will go up, and eventually, everything will settle. And originally ye tha ki after PSL 10, we will all talk about perpetuity, which means we will actually own the team as an asset that we can have, we can build on, we can increase the value, we can sell. Abhi to we're just renting the team every year. Now, in this rented model, where I can see the league going down, we're just renting the team every year. Do I want to pay 25% more and lock in that price for 10 years? Probably not. So now I'm thinking, actually, this is not what I want to do. I'm going to go for a rebid and get a more realistic valuation, which I'll be happy to pay to rent a team for the next 10 years.
Because the rental model, sorry, Bashar, I'm cutting you off. The rental model, it does not help the larger scheme of the game, because if you go to our neighbors in India, unke owners own karte hain us team ko. Preeti Zinta has owned that team since
On
the
the other
beginning.
side, Bangladesh, they own the team.
They own. So what happens in that situation is also they have a stake in the grounds they play in, right? They want to make sure
also become an asset which are growing over time.
Yeah.
Of course. And you can then say, the money I'm spending, it's fine because I'm building this asset. Abhi, if I spend $5 million on, I don't know, an academy and player development and, whatever facilities, next year, if I don't pay the fee, the team is gone. And no one cares about that 5 million that I've spent, because it's not investment, right? It's just expenses. So when
is
you
there no way for like the team owners to quote unquote unionize and be like, हम team नहीं उतारेंगे अगर हमारी ये मुरादें पूरी नहीं होती.
हमारी कोई औकात नहीं है in this franchise. Bangladesh में ये हो रहा था, and the league said, अच्छा आप लोग सब दफा हुए, and they ran the teams themselves for the next 2 years or 3 years, and then they resold the teams. So when you're dealing with the cricket board, they they have you by the tenders. So what do you do?
Talking to you about the PSL, it's fun, but it's also bleak. Is there anything positive you can say about the next 2, 3, 5 years that you look like, yaar, this might be a silver lining in the waiting?
If you look at the core of what the PSL is and how it came to be, Pakistan, unlike other countries, is a one sport nation. I know obviously many football fans are very sad about this, but factually, Pakistan only cares about one sport. We're a massive population, and we are all obsessed with a specific sport called cricket. That's great. That's such a good green flag for any league. Okay, the nation is obsessed with cricket, which is basically the main reason why India does so well, because they are obsessed with cricket. Okay. Secondly, we have very, very talented, very dynamic, and amazing cricketers, coming out of every lane. Another great core thing to have, a core pillar to have to make a successful franchise league. If you look at these pillars compared to, for example, ILT20, compared to these offshoots coming out everywhere, the Caribbean T20 or Canada T20 or Major League Cricket, they don't have these two pillars. Okay? And they struggle to get one or the other. For us, we have them naturally. Now, if we had a good model which benefited the cricket board, that they're making money, they're growing the tournament doing well and growing every year. The owners are feeling invested in it. They're putting money into the league, and the league is growing. They're benefiting from the league growing. Ek win-win इस तरह का model होता, everything would be great. But unfortunately, the original deal signed by the original team owners, and they were again, and वो भी बेचारे पछताते हैं कि we were told कि don't worry, अभी sign कर लो, सब सही हो जाएगा बाद में. हम इसको कर लेंगे, हम इसको change कर लेंगे, हम ये कर देंगे, अब अभी बस sign कर दो. ऐसे ही उन्होंने प्यार मोहब्बत पे साइन कर दिया. उसके बाद कह दिया, एक्चुअली अब तो आपने साइन कर दिया, अब हमको चेंज नहीं कर सकते. So the way it started was in such a bad, not really well thought out way, and then now you can see, चलो यार गलती हो गई है, हो गए 10 साल हो गए हैं, हमने इस shit contract पे सालों गुजारा कर ली, made a lot of money guys. How about now we work a new model, which again I'm not saying आप लोग पैसे कम कमाओ, we're not saying हमें पैसे दे दो, but let's make a model कि you guys are making the same amount of money, maybe you can even make more money, but we're working in a perpetuity model कि we feel ownership, our expenses become investments, and we can together for the next 20-30 years grow this league together. Abhi
So
PSL
what is the threat? What is the threat to them for that model, the perpetuity model that you're talking about? Why won't they accept this?
Right now they have 100% of the control. Why would anyone want to give up any control that they currently have? कोई उनको उनको वो ऐसे सोचते हैं ना कि नहीं, but आपको हम empower करते हैं, क्यों? हमें कैसे फायदा होएगा अगर आप लोगों का एक say हो? And it's like दफा हो जाओ तुम लोग. This is basically it's not. I'll give you an example of how powerless we are. And this is something that really I was like, yeah, I feel sad for myself and all the owners. Owners now, एक तो no one cares about. Owners generally no one cares about. ठीक है? So obviously podcast shots हम करते हैं, but in the larger scheme of cricket fans ना, no one cares about owners. In the off season, owners irrelevant है, because why would we be relevant off season? In the season, people only care about the cricket that's being played. ठीक है? Coaches and the players उन पे focus होता है, everyone's talking about them. The owners get one day where it's kind of about them, and that is the day of the draft. The draft now is the only day owners are relevant, because it's our decisions, our team बैठे होते हैं, मजे कर रहे होते हैं, it's basically the one day we get कि हम खोल के हम खेल रहे होते हैं. We couldn't, as 6 owners, even decide the venue of the draft. All of us were unanimously agreed कि इस साल हमने करना है international. Someone said Dubai, someone said England, someone said Saudi Arabia, someone said the US, but everyone agreed कि ये वाला PSL 10 हमारा फला बड़ा momentous occasion होएगा. अभी IPL ने बाहर किया, हम भी बाहर करेंगे और हम international करेंगे. Everyone is now WhatsApp chat चल रही है, everyone saying yes, international. And then they're like, PCB like, yeah, okay, cool. We'll get some options. We'll speak to some people who like vendors and stuff, and we'll get back to you guys. And then we can decide. I'm like, okay. And then without any more discussion, no WhatsApp group पे एक message नहीं आया इसके बाद. We get a message कि hey guys, the PSL is going to be in Gwadar, and we're like, wait, क्या मतलब? Is this one of the other owners like, wait, is this a suggestion or is this a decision? They're like, oh, actually, this is a decision, and the press release is coming out in 2 minutes. And we're like, yaar, what? Kya matlab? Again, I'm the only one who get frustrated with them. So obviously, बाकी को आदत हो गई है. तो I'm like, क्या मतलब? किस बेसिस पे हुआ ये? कहाँ थी वो मीटिंग जब आपने फेंडर को मिलना था? ये वो कैसे आपने डिसाइड किया विदाउट अस? वो उन्होंने कहा नहीं, इन सम मैं आप हमें पार्टनर्स कहते हो, फिर वो मैंने फुल सुनाई इन द व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप कि क्या देखो, इन ऑब्वियसली यू आर आवर ट्रस्टेड पार्टनर्स एंड ये वो, बट इन सम थिंग्स वी विल टेक द ऑपरेशनल लीड. मैं कह रहा हूँ यार, फिर तो ना हमें कहा ना पार्टनर्स हैं हम. अगर खुद तुमने फैसला करना है, फिर हमें कह रहे दफा हो. फिर मैंने जान के तंग करने के लिए मैंने कहा, अच्छा, मैं कहा एक सेकंड, आपने हमें कहा था कि यू आर गोना गेट ऑप्शन फ्रॉम दीज वेंडर्स एंड स्टाफ. आपकी मीटिंग हुई थी, वो कब हुई थी मीटिंग? उन्होंने कहा इस डेट को हुई थी. तो मैं कहा ठीक है, जो आपको प्रपोजल आई थी वो मुझे भेजो. आई वांट टू सी व्हाट दे प्रपोज्ड. उन्होंने कहा यस फला आपने जूनियर को कह दिया कि यार वो प्लीज सेंड हिम द रिक्वायर्ड इन्फॉर्मेशन. मीटिंग बाद उसका फोन आ गया बेचारा शीपिशली. ऑब्वियसली आई नो द गाय, आई एम फ्रेंडली विद हिम. तो उसने कहा, मैंने कहा हाँ जी बताओ वे कहाँ है हमारे प्रपोजल्स? कहते हैं अली भाई आप मुझे दोनों पता है, कोई प्रपोजल नहीं आई थी. बस अब फैसला हो गया, अब मैं क्या आपको कहूँ? मैंने कहा मुझे पता है यार, मैं तो आई वाज जस्ट ट्राइंग टू जस्ट मेक इट क्लियर कि देयर वाज नो प्रोसेस. उनको बस फील आई थी क्वेटा बाद में करेंगे बस.
I
and when
read,
it fell through, I was like, और करो और लो lead.
आपका जो ideal model है PSL का, you want ownership, you want to build stadiums, you want to have camps and high performance centers. Is that right?
Of course, I want it to be that this is our asset and this is going to be asset forever. I want this to be something we build year on year. अभी एक academy हो, फिर 2 हो, फिर बाकी शहरों में हो. Ideally, we bring foreign investment in, make a stadium, make into a commercial area. मतलब actually build it like all these American franchises, yaar. Have a women's team, have a junior team. मतलब really use it as the base and build around it. अभी तो मैं rent कर रहा हूँ. मैं ये सब चीज़ें बिल्ड कर लूँगा, एक दिन कहेंगे एक्चुअली यार आपका रिन्यूअल हो रहा है, आप हमें याद दो, इतने पैसे ही आप दफ़ा हो जाओ। फिर दफ़ा हो जाऊँगा, फिर मेरे सारे स्टेडियम, अकेडमी सब मतलब
Yeah, what are you gonna
गायब
do
हो
with it?
जाएँगे, क्या होगा उसको? So why would I invest? If I'm investing, it's different. If I'm putting in expenses in, why would I do it?
And do you, after this season, do you feel like ये सारे बुड्ढे बाबों की कोई बदुआ तो नहीं लगी आप लोगों की? You rank bottom of the table because you are so
Definitely,
openly like at them.
definitely. वो तो बहुत खुश थे, वो तो बहुत खुश
Of
थे।
course.
So
Yeah.
again, I don't care if they think me losing 9 cricket matches will affect my mental health. I'm so beyond that, यार। मैच तो हर कोई हारता है, जीतता है, क्या फर्क पड़ता है? But everything I said, I stand by, and I'll continue to say it until they shape up. And again,
When you're
I'm not terrified. I don't. Everyone's criticizing me कि बातें तो सही थी, लेकिन टाइमिंग गलत थी, टाइमिंग बड़ी गलत थी। ओह यार, कब कहता और? जब मेरी फ्रस्ट्रेशन लेवल यहाँ तक पहुंच गई, मैं फट गया हूँ फिर फ्रस्ट्रेशन, तभी मैं बोलूंगा ना। I'm not
Yeah.
going to say, actually, today I'm frustrated 10 on 10. I'm going to wait 47 days and then I will say the first thing. पागल हूँ मैं यार। When I'm frustrated, तभी criticize करूँगा। अब जब criticize किया and then PCL, the first match was completely empty. मैं खुश था ना, like, yes, this is the problem and no one's talking about it.
Yeah. I think your comments on Karachi were also like misconstrued. Us from being from Karachi, totally retweet, repost, जो भी करना है, share. We agree with everything you're saying. We've been to those stadiums. We've sat on
So,
those stands.
so bad,
Awam
so bad.
nahi aayegi if you treat them like animals in cages. They will not come.
अच्छा, on this point, जब बैठे हुए थे ना हम, first match, कराची का मैच हो रहा है, and we see the stadium is completely empty. Oof, it was so frustrating. In walks in PSL management, ठीक है? And वो मैच शुरू होने वाला, टॉस होने वाली है, so they walk in full suited booted, अपने पहने हुए अपने waistcoats.
All three of them.
हाँ, two of them came, एक आया भी नहीं था. Two of them come in and look around, they're like looking around as if they're in shock, like oh my god. मैं इनको देख रहा हूँ साइड से कि यार ये क्या, what is this drama, guys? क्या तुम, what is this drama? And they're looking around like flabbergasted. Okay, and I can hear them. They're like, कैसे हो सकता है? हमने तो 20,000 टिकटें बेची थी इस मैच की, और ये कैसे होता है? And they're looking at each other, looking at the other Karachi owner, like, we're like, we are in shock. I'm like, wow, guys, you're in shock. So you guys did nothing differently from last time. You reduced the number of Karachi games because you knew कि crowd नहीं आएगा. आपने कुछ फर्क, you didn't engage colleges, universities, cricket clubs, local community. You did nothing, and people didn't come. Wow, shocking, guys. I was that shocked.
मुझे
तो हम
लगता है
बात
कि they live in a bubble
sorry.
where I think इनको चाहिए कि ये लोग एक दफा मैच देखने आए कराची में as a fan,
Okay, exactly.
security के through गुजरे,
This is
checking के through गुजरे.
exactly what I said. So we were talking about it, huh? कि one of our media guys came up to me and they're like, what do you think is the problem? And what can we do? I'm like, listen, I am not the person to tell you the answer. It's not like an obvious answer. This is the problem. First, we need to realize there's a problem. And then we need to get together with people who can find a solution. But I'll tell you the problem. I was telling my media guy this. Okay, of all the people who will eventually sit together and people will say कि क्या हो रहा है, what should we do about it, and they'll come up with ideas. मैंने कहा, tell me how many of them have actually gone in through the public rasta and attended a PSL game in the stadium. एक मुझे बता दो. No one. Everyone walks in, VIP sticker, straight park at the stadium, walk in directly, badge पहना होता है, no security checks, walk by, हर कोई को सलाम करा होता है, and they walk in and think, यार बड़ा आसान है स्टेडियम आना, आवाम क्यों नहीं आ रही? I attend matches, non-Multan Sultans matches, आराम से. I just park the car where the public parking is, walk through the ground, walk through all the things, get to the match, sit in the enclosures, and watch the match. And I've always done that. I know कि Lahore में जाना आसान है, because Lahore में I go to Liberty Gold Chakkar, get off in a really nice, comfortable parking, walk maybe 7 minutes on a nice paved, massive road, no security issues, खुला, everyone doing their own thing, families अलग जा रही होती हैं, बच्चे घूम रहे होते हैं, safe space, साफ सुथरा, walk in straight to the stadium, बाहर खाना मिल रहा है, merchandise मिल रही है, amazing experience. That's why I always go to Lahore matches. It's a breeze going there. Karachi, completely different story. वहां जाके पार्क करना होता है, you have to go through a weird park के through जाना होता है through, फिर सिक्योरिटी में लाइन घुसना होता है, फिर एक और चेक होता है, फिर स्टेडियम में जाते हो, and you finally get there after maybe 40 minutes after leaving your car, and the view is atrocious. And I'm talking about the VIP Hanif Muhammad stand. The view is so bad, Okay, I'm like, why did I spend all this time coming here in the boonies and then walking all the way through the kitchen, through the parks, through the lines, in all the body odor that naturally comes with cricket fans, and
Mashallah.
finally get in there, and I'm like, I can't even see anyone.
Yeah,
So
100%.
that's why I know there's a problem. बाकी जो VIP boys आ रहे होते हैं girls, वो आ रहे हैं कि यार कोई आया नहीं है वो, please यार, please.
It was so bad. I went to see the Pakistan-New Zealand game, one of them in 2023, and the security guard, like you're saying, it's like a 50-minute jaddo-jahad to get into the stadium. The security guard stops me. I've gone through all these security checks. आखिरी वाला stops me कि सर ये airpods आप लेके नहीं जा सकते. हमें नहीं पता ये क्या है. And
Where are you going to put your AirPods? Are you going to put them somewhere and pick them up? Obviously not.
let me tell you what happened then. The funniest thing. So now I'm creating a fuss, right? I'm like, ये AirPods and headphones. I'm trying to explain it to this guy. Obviously, he doesn't know what this is. The security head comes. He's like, sir, आप शोर नहीं करें. आप ही मुझे दें. मैं आपको अंदर जाकर दे दूँगा. And I'm like, मैं आपको नहीं जानता. आप ये $280 की चीज़ है. आप लेकर निकल जाए मुझे. मेरा तो loss हो जाएगा.
You don't have a seat number. You have an enclosure.
There's no seat number.
How will he find you?
And so I trust him because I don't want to go back all the way. I don't have my car. I go inside. 30 minutes later, this man comes in, full chaude mein, usko suna rahe, wahan baitho, ye karo. Walks up the stairs to me, hands me my headphones. Allah Hafiz.
Which is amazing. Which is an amazing, unique thing to happen. Otherwise, it's ke you can't. They're making issues over you can't come in. Again, I don't blame the security guard. Yeah. Point is,
no, I don't blame him either.
The people who are deciding ke issues kya hai have never experienced what we've experienced.
Yes, 100%.
Why are you guys the decision makers? Yeah, tum log experience to kar lo.
And I think this year it was more of the Karachi Awam, who also, not to get political or anything, but Karachi itself feels like the stepchild of Pakistan anyways. Yeah. And they see Lahore get this brand new state-of-the-art stadium, Jalian.
Itna acha
ball जा रही है crowd के अंदर अली भाई. Karachi वाले cannot even imagine कि वो ball catch करेंगे.
तुम ये सोचो कि there's no jungla.
There's no jungla at all, right?
It is.
And so the Karachiites are looking at this and they're looking at Lahore getting this and they're like, why would we accept anything less than that? And then they don't want to come. They vote with their tickets and they voted, जब तक आप हमारे बारे में सोचेंगे नहीं, we will not come. And again, this problem...
Maybe that's the reason. Maybe it's because of because it's so far away. Maybe because of the walk. Maybe because of security. We don't know. But the point is, unless people experience what the Awam goes through, they have no right to talk about कि यार actually हमें लगता है अगर हम 500 रुपए कम कर देना बड़ा फर्क पड़ेगा यार नहीं पड़ेगा फर्क यार. It's not going to make a difference.
Saturday there was a cricket day at the park event at the Toronto Blue Jays match, or it's a 3-hour baseball match. Baseball I think is quite a boring sport, and there were 40,000 people in the stadium, seamlessly coming in, coming out. Yeah. There were engagement activities outside of the actual match.
Khana tha yaar, decent khana tha.
As fans,
I love baseball matches, so I totally get it. I love it.
So we enjoyed the experience of getting there, the engagement, the washrooms, the food stands, the view, the information you were getting.
There's so many guys, लोग होते हैं वहाँ who are just there to help you. आप किसी रास्ता मांग लो, खाना कर लो, ये कहाँ है, वो किधर है. Everyone is there to help you have a good time. यहाँ तो है again absolute bare minimum क्या है, security होनी चाहिए, गेट पे ताले लगे होने चाहिए, security guard should क्या कहते हैं, fondle everyone, and that's it. That's all we got to do. Minimum, bare minimum. What's the incentive? Actually, how do we make the experience even better? उनको पता नहीं experience क्या है. The people who are going to decide this, and tell you the really sad part. अभी PSL 10 खत्म हो गया ना, and we've seen that crowd numbers are down. ठीक है? इसमें कोई शक तो नहीं है किसी को. When do you think the first time, forget the final decision, when do you think the first meeting will take place between us as in PSL owners and PCB management, so on, all the stakeholders meeting to discuss what do we do about in crowd attendance?
I think
maybe 3 weeks before PSL 11. That's when we start talking about it. Actually guys, इस दफा हम क्या करें? Yeah, that's too late then यार. कुछ नहीं हो सकता अब आप 500 ऊपर करो, 200-250 नीचे करो, makes no difference.
मुझे लगता है PCB का खुद कोई इंसेंटिव नहीं PSL को ग्रो करना because they keep carrying PSL.
I said everyone gets
PGL, they're like we don't really care.
Salaries and everyone gets the same high fives. Another successful tournament, high five. Like abhi the message going from the official message was going abhi email जा रही है उसमें ये बात था कि congratulations on another amazing PSL and ये वो चलो obviously दफा इंडिया वाली चीज हो गई थी बड़ी बात है वो. We finished tournament, which again, kudos to Mohsin Naqvi and the team. Amazing काम किया. So I don't want to take anything away this season. But again, this is the exact same message we send every single year. कि आप लोगों ने तो कमाल कर दिया. Wow. Now when can we have a meeting? You know, so on, so on. So,
what is your off season looking like? What does your off season look like?
Nothing. Dead. WhatsApp group पे कभी-कभी मैसेज आता है once a month. बाकी किसी ओनर का या किसी मैनेजमेंट का, that's about it. Happy birthday मैसेज करेंगे दूसरे को हम, बस.
That's insane because there's again, this is foolish of me to compare the PSL with the functioning franchise. Like,
yeah, obviously, I'm oversimplifying, but I'm sure everyone has their off-season plans and ये करें वो करें. But actually, PSL wise, मतलब कोई meeting हो रही है, you know, people are getting together, talking about stuff, improving stuff. कुछ नहीं हो रहा. हम emails, we'll send them emails. Guys, we have these topics we want to talk about. For example, I could say, guys, I want to talk about in-stadium attendance. I want to talk about, I think it's a big issue. I can पूरा मैं email लिख के इनको भेज दूंगा. बाकी owners भी कह देंगे, you know, we agree. Joint email लिख देंगे हम. वो कहेंगे बिल्कुल, we will definitely, you know, address this. Let's have a meeting. You know, when is everyone free? Between people who are living in Hong Kong and Vancouver and Pakistan and Dubai and so on, और फिर PCB management वो लोग करते करते actually अब ये हो रहा है, actually अब ये हो रहा है, अब ये हो गया. The first meeting to discuss this grievance will probably be in about 6 months if I start now. If, and again I'm saying if, बड़ी बात होगी अगर हो भी गई. So, you know, it's just
what is the PSL management? What do they do in the off season? वो क्या कर रहे हैं?
They're PCB employees. They just focus on the PCB stuff. ICC क्या हो रहा है, वो भी tournament क्या हो रही है वाली है, domestic क्या होएगा. That's it. They go back to PCB.
So even though the PSL has now become a different entity, it's kind of not really.
It has just happened. So let's see what these three guys do during the off season.
Coming back to
actually 2.5. Two people are full time. One is part time.
One is part time.
2.5.
There's more people working this podcast than there's the PSL. That's crazy.
Yep.
I wanted to come back a bit to the cricket. You mentioned like your passion for cricket. और आपने साल Will Linton को hire किया था as a fielding coach, and the goal was to be the best fielding team. Stats wise, what Rashid Latif posted is that Multan Sultans had the most drop catches in the PSL.
Yep.
How do you expect a coach to come in or like overnight, which is a change kar de? That's not fair to the coach or the players either.
So that stat obviously was about this league, this season. We have dropped fewer catches than we dropped last year.
Is that a real stat?
Yeah. We have had fewer drops and fewer misfields than we did last year.
Are you talking about the PSL in general or Sultans?
Sultans, between 9 and 10, we have dropped fewer catches and have had fewer misfields, which is great. And again, abhi kya hua tha? The main goal of Will Linton is to train especially our young up-and-coming Pakistani players. Okay? Obviously, Chris Jordan ko to nahi sikayenge na fielding. Now, David Willey ko, Bracewell ko. So the main focus is to train the people who have never been trained. That is their focus. Abhi, if you look at our catches, Michael Bracewell dropped 2 catches, dropped 4 catches. 33% of our catches were dropped by Michael Bracewell.
It's the Pakistan effect.
कौन?
It's the Pakistan effect.
Yeah. So जब वो आके बैठा ना एक दिन ऐसे था, कहता, you know, I thought about it and I've gone through like my previous matches. In the past 12 months, I have dropped 2 catches. And I've dropped 4 catches in this tournament. कहता, I just don't get it. Like मैं खुद अपने आप पे हैरान हूँ. उसने 12 महीनों में जायंट के बच्चे ने with his paws उसने 2 कैच ड्रॉप किए हैं और हमारे टूर्नामेंट में 33% of our catches were dropped by him. Chris Jordan, who's regarded as one of the greatest fielders of all time and still right now one of the greatest fielders, he's dropping catches. तो जो हमारे stats हैं, our people who were not training, we're not focused on because they're already amazing, वो कैच ड्रॉप करें. तो हमारे बेचारे जो locals हैं, उन्होंने तो कुछ बुरा नहीं किया बेचारों ने.
Why do you think it was this season was particularly atrocious?
Everyone, again, if you look at every team, ठीक है, जो overseas होते हैं, they're always like the cut above, and then everyone is doing their thing. Obviously, mainly Pakistan team होती है, but like Warner or Seifert or whoever the players are, Nabi in Karachi, take Finn Allen, take on any of these guys, they're usually the best. ठीक है, चलो, someone can have a bad season, जैसे अभी कोलर कैडमो का बुरा सीजन हो रहा था, तो ठीक है, but otherwise people performing and so on. हमारे मतलब all our overseas बेचारे had the worst season of their life at the exact same time. चलो, एक का बुरा सीजन हो रहा है, चलो कुछ नहीं होता, जॉर्डन का बुरा सीजन हो रहा है, इनके लिए उसको, चलो ब्रेसवेल कैसे ड्रॉप करे, चलो विली तो कम से कम खेल रहा ना, होप तो कम से कम खेल रहा ना. हमारे सारों का एक ही टाइम पे वर्स्ट सीजन हो गया. So it was just a really funny season.
People were trying to people are trying to like make sense of why this drop catches were happening. Look at them. Maybe it's the new lights. Do you have any
Lahore
experience with
lights are
that?
amazing. The Lahore lights are amazing. And they make it really easy. Obviously, Multan lights are low, but they've always been low. So
Yeah.
there's no particular reason for it. It was just our best fielders had their worst fielding season of their entire life at the exact same
Or,
time.
yeah. The coincidence is insane.
Just
Yeah, and
Will,
again,
like,
to Will's credit, he is not teaching. He's not teaching catching techniques to our overseas. His main thing is throwing, gathering the ball. How do you run for the ball? How do you watch the ball? And I am 100% confident that that had a very good impact on our players, and they will have a cumulative effect over time.
Yeah.
But again, obviously, we were definitely the worst team in every aspect: bowling, batting, fielding. So obviously, it was a trifecta. But compared to last season, we dropped fewer catches, and our local players dropped a significantly a lower portion of catches compared to our overseas than last year. So I'm
मुझे ऐसा
proud of
लगा
that.
कि आप लोग as a batting team जो batting कर रहे थे, you guys were scoring runs under par and not defending it. फिर आप
Yeah.
जो bowling कर रहे थे, you guys were conceding runs over par and not being able to chase it down.
Bilkul.
Is that the consensus amongst the
So
Multan squad?
if you look at in the first match, we scored 235 in Karachi, which was a massive score. Our bowling was so bad that we somehow lost that game when there was no way we should let them even get close to it. उसके बाद इतना हमारे bowling under confident हो गया कि we never thought any total is big enough. कभी हम let's say 180 पे out हो गए, ठीक है, and then the other team chased. We were clear if we had scored 200, 210 भी score कर लेते हैं फिर भी match हार जाते.
What did you
Our
think of
bowling
the
just
the
couldn't.
comparison between James
We
Vince and
just
Rizwan's
couldn't.
century?
Yeah, क्या चीज?
What did you think of the comparison between James Vince and Rizwan's century? के Rizwan is looking at
Completely unfair to tell people. It was the first match of the PSL happening on the stadium. The first team coming out has no idea how the pitch will play, what will happen after 10 overs, what will happen with the new ball, what will happen at the death. कुछ नहीं पता होता. First inning में जो score करते हो is completely different circumstances, the mindset different होता है. When they came out knowing कि 235 हमने करना है, then they went all guns blazing from ball one. No one would do, if they were batting first, no way would they have batted the way they did in the power play. Because obviously it's tentative, kya hoega, maybe 180 is par, maybe 160 is par, maybe 200 is par. No one expected it to be a 235 wicket. The fact that we got there, it gave them all or nothing liberty. And they played really well. But no way does a team batting first on a first time wicket, never having had a match there on a new pitch, bat the way Karachi batted in the second inning. So it's completely unfair to say Rizwan was too slow.
Ali bhai, what is your honest opinion on Mohammad Rizwan? In T20s?
Oh, I rate him obviously very highly as a cricketer and especially as a captain. Amazing leader of men, inspirational, always kept it positive. The way he picks up young players, the way he motivates them is amazing. Do I think he could bat with a little more aggression in the power play? Of course. But everyone is comfortable with the way they play, so it's their thing. He can catch up in the latter part, but obviously everyone has things that we would as coaches or as owners in the dugout want them to improve. But that's who they are. Everyone would want Babar to play more aggressively in the power play, of course. But that's who they are, and that's how they played all their life, and they've had success. So
We've been critical on our podcast of the whole Rizbar Jodi, especially in T20s, and we obviously there's a huge fan base between both of those players, and we understand the pushback that we got, but we, like you, sort of now feel a little bit vindicated after this series that just went by, that we were like, these are the guys that should have been there post 2024, maybe post 2023. What do you think about that?
Because it really depends on what we're expecting from a tournament. Obviously, if I'm putting together a team, let's say three of us are putting together a team. We know that the par score is going to be 160. And we're putting together, it's going to be a really difficult pitch to bat on. We're expecting 160 par for the entire tournament. Who are you picking as our openers?
Well, yeah, I would pick an opening combination that could go hard in the power play.
Saim Haris.
ठीक है. Again, forget hot. We are expecting, आप हमें कह दिए कि कल मैच है इस पिच पे 160 will be a really good score. 130, 140 पे हो जाएगा, हो सकता है अगर बुरा खेले, but 160 would be a really good competitive score. What for this specific pitch? What are you picking?
Man, honestly, for 145 to 160, just आप बोल रहे हो, yeah, so Rizwan and Babar, but even in that situation, even
agreed. So I'm saying when we beat India 152 for nil, ठीक है, जो वो match हुआ था, no way could any other opening pair do that against India at that time, which was, by the way, that's when we beat India after a long time.
First
The
time,
only
but I
they
mean, also in that World Cup, every team won matches chasing, and Pakistan was chasing against India. So, like, we were already at an advantage there.
Yeah, but if they had scored 220, now trust me, they would not have gotten that score, because it was 150, 152, 160. That is something that they are specialist at.
Yes.
So Abhi, if I'm putting together a team for a low scoring pitch, I'm putting Babar Rizwan in my top 3. If I'm putting, let's say, and obviously Saim obviously as the guy. If I need to go and bat at 240 plus, no way am I putting them in the team.
Yeah.
So you have to look at the situation. Am I putting Haris, Mohammad Haris, who I love, and is a very exciting player, am I putting him in a very difficult pitch, a ball swing seam over there? As an opener, probably not.
Yeah.
So it depends on the situation. And at the time, lower scores were more common in T20 cricket than they are now. And now higher scores are more common. So IPL le lo. IPL may now the 250 plus chase ho rahe on a regular. And the teams that they make now are different from the teams they made 5-6 years ago when 200 was a par score. So as we go towards more batting friendly conditions and higher scores in T20, our team selection will also move to these Hassan Nawazes and Saims and so on, which is great, which is fine.
I feel like
But you
the
can't say they were wrong to be picked at that time.
I feel like the Rizba partnership was a fix for a problem that we had at that time.
Yeah.
And I feel like maybe they may have overstayed their welcome, maybe a tournament too long. That 2024 tournament was, I feel like that exposed a lot of things for a lot of people, especially not being, जैसा आप बोल रहे हो ना, 160 अगर पार है तो मैं इन दोनों को भेजूंगा. 120 on the board था. We just needed to run a ball. And a lot of the onus goes back to Rizwan. This is why I asked you that question reading up front, because a lot of, especially in the T20 mindset, because we also come from the hats of just being fans of the game and being fans of Pakistan cricket, a lot of that onus of that 120 not being chased goes down to Rizwan. And that's where the bitterness starts from the fandom and
again, bad games are kisi hote hain, so I don't know what was happening at the time, but I will say one thing, just one caveat. And I agree with what you're saying, but I'll give you one caveat. I've seen players perform in high performance situations, in high performance environments, and in toxic environments. The same player will be a completely different person on and off the pitch in 2 different environments.
Yeah.
If one environment is positive, do your thing, go for it, you fail, but fail in the right way, we got you, too good. The other one is you have one match, otherwise this guy's coming in, you suck, you're this, you're that. खबरदार तुमने ये किया, मैं तुम ये करूंगा, वो करूंगा, तुम ये. अगर वहाँ गाली गलोच हो रही है, वहाँ तारीफें हो रही हैं, everyone reacts differently. So in the Pakistan team, and again, I'm privy to many conversations that I've had with players, with staff, with coaches, with management. It has been a very toxic environment, the Pakistan dressing room, especially in the international tournaments. So I do have to say there is that caveat of they were not in a high performance atmosphere or environment when they were at that World Cup and previously in other tournaments, with a lot of chopping and changing, a lot of decisions being overruled, a lot of selection drama and politics and so on. So you have to give it to them. So they get affected by this. But again, was it a bad or loss? Of course it was. Was everything in their favor? Probably not.
अभी जो एक नया era है पाकिस्तान में, I would say like new era, because every few months you have a new era.
Oh, loving it. I'm loving this current era. I am loving it.
Let's go.
I am telling you right now, Hassan Nawaz should be platinum player. Bas.
The agenda is on already. Hassan Nawaz or Farhan? Platinum picks next season.
Farhan, Haris. Yeah, Mohammad Haris, century की है? Platinum. अब तो देखना category renewals.
You're ready for it. So this new era, you're digging the new era, clearly, and you as a fan, and hum log bhi, because we had Hassan on the Hassan on the podcast last year as well. And this guy has a head like no one else has. The one thing that we said in our podcast with him, and we spoke with him off the record as well, he has no baggage that the other coaches have. He's never played internationally. He does not have that superstar hat that he's wearing. Jo hamare kuch former players it took them a long time to take it off, if they even did. And so when he comes in with that mindset, I'm here to service the players. I feel like we're already seeing the results of that, don't you?
I'm a big fan of Mike Hassan. I told him during we knew earlier that ये होने वाला है, so I went up to him in the tournament. Really excited for this. Really hope you get the gig, and this is going to be a great time, and we're very happy. So everyone has been very appreciative of him and been very welcoming for his appointment. So everyone has big expectations, but absolutely, if he is given a fair run and given the authority he should be given, I think we're in store for a very exciting time in Pakistan cricket. With
I
so
wanna
many
ask you a little bit-
platinum players in the team.
Only platinum in the team. I want to ask you a little bit more about yourself because we hear you a lot. Arab, mashallah, say you're very vocal. You're also one of the few people that are actually actively on X Twitter, and it's good and bad, but it's like you're always there. But I don't know if a lot of people know a little bit more of a personal side about you. Do you yourself play cricket?
Yeah.
Do you like
I
have
play
your own
cricket.
team? kahan se khelte ho?
So when I in the summers I spend mostly in England, and I play for my local club team there as an overseas player. And otherwise, we've recently started this the Oxford and Cambridge Alumni Association, the Oxbridge Group. So I am the captain of Team Oxford, and then we play regularly against Team Cambridge, and then we do like joint matches and stuff all the time. So yeah, I love playing cricket. I'm a fast bowler, and I bat and just as a tail ender at number 7, 8 and just whack it. Red ball ho, white ball ho, bas, aake bas, short hai.
If
Leg
you
side
bat at
dominant.
7, 8, I think Shaheen would disagree with you that you're a tail ender. Shaheen would say premium. I don't know.
Rounder.
But so have you ever been like in the nets with your players and it's been like, yeah, let's see what happens?
Oh yeah. So whenever jab net bowling ho rahi hoti hai and they're looking for and the bowlers come hote hain, I have a ball easily. Yeah.
Do they give you respect or they're like, मैं तो मारूंगा ऐसे?
तो अक्सर they find out after they realize afterwards कि मैं ही था जो bowling करा रहा था, तो सालों को
Really?
मारे
Have you had your bowling action reviewed
not
by
saying
Ian Pond?
I'm saying I'm bowling like the net bowlers. जो net bowlers आ रहे होते हैं बेचारे cutie pies, तो ठीक होता है. I'm not saying
Have you
good.
had your
I was good. I would have picked myself obviously in the draft, but I play as a fan. I play for recreationally. I enjoy it.
have you had your bowling action reviewed by Ian Pond?
So the good thing is because I play cricket, obviously at whatever level, the way I interview technical coaches is that I'm like, "Acha, if you can improve me, then you're gonna be amazing." So
You're
the first
hired.
time I met Ian was in the nets at Lords, and we did a 2-hour session. And I'm like, I want you to just assess me and see kya issues. And so the way he explained it, the way it broke down the technical, the first, second, third, fourth positions and the finish and so on, I was like, this is exactly what our players need. And that's why that's how I met Catherine Dalton also, because she was his assistant coach.
Yeah.
So and now over time, when even Julian Wood is coming, I'm like, if this guy can make me bat from number 10 to number 8, it means he is gonna be amazing in Pakistan. So I work with these guys to see I want to see their methods up close.
I'm getting a non-Khalifa vibe from you because if it's your team and you're captaining, तो आप जाओ number 2 पे कौन रोक रहा है आपको?
Open batting, open bowling, fielding slip के ऊपर.
Only काश Abdul Rehman मेरा इतना ताबेदार होता कि वो मेरी बात मानता, but unfortunately this is not the case yet. But कभी when he's really angry at his player ना, तो वो कहता है यार इससे बेहतर तो bowling आप करा लेते. तो मतलब that's the worst thing he can say to someone कि इतना बुरा था, इतना बुरा था, इससे बेहतर तो आप ये खेले थे.
We do this thing on our channel where we would love to do this with you. Where we play like a 1-over match with like a player. We just did one with Mohammad Nawaz. Spoiler alert: 24 runs ka target tha and we lost by 26 runs. That happened.
How are you playing?
So we play in the nets. So Nawaz was over in Canada and Rehan bhai facilitated.
Nice.
Yeah, and so what happens is nets hota hai, ek umpire hota hai, out is -2, 2 over ka match hota hai.
Yeah, I'm in.
So we have to do this with you now.
Anytime.
A question
I'll tell you
on
one thing.
Abdul
I'll
Rehman.
tell you one thing. My stock ball is a bouncer. So whenever we're playing now, as long as you guys have helmets on, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Helmet on hoga, tension nahi le aap.
Wahab Riyaz versus Shane Watson at the Adelaide Oval. I had a question on Abdul Rehman. Like, there's a lot of good people working in Pakistan cricket. Hanif Malik is a recent person who's been
Top guy.
part of the Pakistan
Top guy,
cricket.
Hanif Malik. Yeah.
Great guy, wonderful guy. Why
guy.
don't we see people like Abdul Rehman also come up in the ranks and work with Pakistan team?
That's a great question because even though he was temporarily the head coach of Pakistan when there were coaches being aag biche ho rahe the. So he's been Pakistan head coach. He's been assistant coach for a long time, and players love him. He's an absolute genius. तुम ये सोचो उसके बारे में. So Nathan Lehman, who is my man crush, one of the smartest guys I ever met. Cricket पे काम करता है. Cambridge math grad. Plays cricket himself. Cricket coach भी था पहले. So he's just the ultimate man.
He wrote a book also.
Wrote a book.
Cricket Wali.
Has written multiple books. Has literally written the algorithms for CricViz. मतलब हम देखते हैं ये जो चीजें आ रही होती हैं CricViz पे impact. He wrote the algorithms. So again, genius guy. He's the guy who set up the entire data analytics center in England. So ECB didn't have any data until Nathan Lehman came and set it up. Anyway, so he was on a podcast after our first PSL, and people are talking, you've met so many cricketers, you tour with them all the time and so on. who are like your like the cricketing people you look up to and so on.
Oh, did we lose
And he goes without dropping a beat. He goes, this guy in Pakistan called Abdul Rehman.
recording?
He is my. Oh, sorry, I've frozen.
Maybe he's
Oh, there we go.
Sorry, guys, lost you guys. Wait, what's the last thing you heard?
So you said that he worked with Abdul Rehman and he set up the data stuff for England.
Yeah. So when he was on a cricket podcast after the PSL, the first PSL he worked with us, they asked him, who are the people you've toured with so many people, so many great players and coaches and so on. Who are the people you look up to? And he, without skipping a beat, he goes, there's this coach in Pakistan called Abdul Rehman. He is my cricketing guru. So, agar Nathan Lehman hi keh raha na, then people in Pakistan should also take heed. But the biggest issue in Pakistan is the decision makers in the PCB or people who have influence are all former cricketers or former World Cup winners or former legends. And they just, whether it's ego, whether it's this old, mindset, they just have a difficult time accepting that he is a better coach than they are. They just can't do it. I'm like, he's like Jose Mourinho. Okay, I was a great player, but I am the man when it comes to coaching. This is where I built my bones. But people are like, no. Player, अगर टेस्ट मैच नहीं खेला ना तो मतलब कोई सीन नहीं है. मतलब इतना यहाँ होता है कि लोग किसी को कह रहे होते हैं यार उसको क्या पता है उसने सिर्फ 5 टेस्ट मैच खेले उसको सिर्फ 1 सेंचुरी है. यार उससे क्या फर्क पड़ता है? How does that have any impact on your coaching abilities?
Yeah.
But
It's a complete
you
different skill.
see it, the really unfortunate. And we saw this last year when we were killing it. Last year we were amazing. Okay? We were winning every game. We're destroying teams. We have amazing net runner. We're top of the group from the beginning. और हर रात अब होता था वो shows होते ना like these former cricketers on these TV shows. Every time when we would win a match, we'd come home बैठे होते थे, we'd be watching. कह रहे हैं कि actually जो losing team ना उनका कसूर है. बहुत बुरा खेले हैं, बैटिंग उनकी बुरी, क्या शॉट खेली है, ये वो चलो उन्होंने कहा चलो 1-2 गेम्स है. आफ्टर टाइम वो बातें कर रहे हैं कि एक्चुअली दूसरी टीम तो बुरी थी लेकिन जो ये प्लेयर थे ना मुल्तान के, क्या प्लेयर थे, क्या कप्तानी थी, क्या ये था. करते आई थिंक आफ्टर लाइक 8 games none of them had taken the name of Abdul Rehman, who is our head coach. He is the most successful coach in the history of Pakistan domestic cricket, and he is a first-time coach in PSL, and he is having an unbelievably dominant season. They just didn't even take his name. In the semi-final, I think, tab jaake, one of the former players said, oh, gee, unki jo coach Abdul Rehman, unka bhi, isme thoda sa haath hoega. I'm like, yeah, come on, guys. Come on.
Ali bhai, I don't know if these guys even do their research. Like yesterday, Ramiz Raja is asking Mike Hassan what he thinks about Brendan McCullum, and Mike Hassan is like, I coached him. He went under my thing, like in 2015. Like a lot of these people, just because unka naam hai and they have this brand associated with them, I think they cut corners. They're not doing their research. I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't know Abdul Rehman was the coach.
Everyone in Pakistan, these guys, they know it because they're like, this is a gig we should have gotten. Like we've had again, I'm not gonna name anyone, but we've had former legends of Pakistan cricket players have said we've offered them, they were interested in roles, we offered them a role, and they were like, wait, we're gonna be under this guy? No chance. Hamara record, ye hamara international, we have to be above him. He can be our assistant. I'm like, no. He's the man. He is the best coach in Pakistan. Obviously, he's our head coach. You can be, this. Kya fark padta hai? It's not an ego thing. They have categorically said we will not work under this guy, even though they're not saying he's a bad guy. They say we love him. We want him to be our assistant coach. But hierarchy mein, we are here.
So, why is that?
I think it's an ego thing.
Yeah, why is the ego? Pakistani players ki ego itni kyun hai inflated?
It's just who knows, yeah. But it's just unfortunate seeing these legends of the game have such tiny, fragile egos that they can't give due credit to someone like Abdul Rehman, who is again the most successful coach in Pakistan domestic history. I'm not saying it's not an opinion. This is a fact, and you can't give credit to this guy. Unfortunate.
Do you think this is a societal issue that we have, or is it a cricket specific issue?
Societal issue भी होएगा. Like abhi, for example, I remember जब draft हुआ था, and they said, आपका वो है press conference है तो आप आ जाएं. So I took Abdul Rehman with me, and Abdul Rehman's going. He goes, no, you go. He's very like, doesn't want me the limelight. नहीं आप जाएं. I'm like, Man, you're the head coach. You have put this team together. मैं क्या कहूँगा? Anyway, take him with me. And they're talking about stuff. They're asking me this, ask me about this player, that player, Kamran Ghulam के बारे में, इसके बारे में. And I'm like, okay, eventually अभी Rahman bhai पे question आएगा. Eventually he'll be asked a question. Two of us sitting here. I've been asked like 6 questions in a row. I'm thinking, obviously, इतनी तो तमीज होगी. They're going to ask him a question. They did not ask him a single question. And he's the head coach. I then had to say, कि, oh, I don't know this. Rahman bhai, आप बताएं Kamran के बारे में. आपका player था, so on. And then he started talking about him and stuff. And then we left. He goes, the reason I don't want to come with you, obviously, not that I want to be rude, but I knew they will never ask me a question. And he knew it. Because he's been, just looked over his entire life, from the journalists, from the media, from players, from not actual player, but current former players. Whereas the players love him. Rizwan loves him. Unko sirf Sergi kehta hai. He's my guy. So it's just unfortunate with these old guys and these buddhas ke they just can't give him the credit he deserves. And it's unfortunate.
But the same thing happened last year in Islamabad when we were in the camp. The players loved Hanif Malik. He's doing some groundbreaking stuff. Or like, we're so excited that he's finally with the Pakistan men's team now, or maybe in the next 12 months we can see the results of that coming in. But it's very exciting times for Pakistan, Hanif Malik there.
Yeah, but definitely, it's if you're a former player, it's just a different thing. If you're not a former player, it's just unfortunate.
I have to interrupt this programming once again to bring a special message from our friends at Yashi Sports. You've heard it before on Backward Point many times. Bashar loves talking about Yashi Sports. It's because they've been with us for almost a year. And not only that, they are the go-to spot when it comes to cricket equipment in North America. Not only in Canada, but in North America. You want to go to yashisports.com. You want to use our code BP10. And you get 10% off of your purchases on your entire order. If you spend more than $350, you get free shipping as well. So if you want to get a bat, if you want to get a pad, if you want to get your entire kit revamped, this is how you do it. You use our code BP10. You get 10% off. The boys at Yashi Sports are amazing with their expert advice. If you're in Canada, if you're North America, if you want to come in, drop in, get a net session, that's the place to go. We recently took a very special guest, Toby Marriott from Cricket District, to Yashi Sports. He loved it. He had a great time. And Yashi has been an amazing partner with us through all this time. If you're in North America, if you're in Toronto, if you're in the GTA, go to yashisports.com, buy their stuff, use our code BP10, 10% off back to you from Backward Point into your pockets. That's just how we roll on this podcast. Thank you very much to Yashi Sports for sponsoring this and many others like this.
Anyway, this is a sad topic. Let's talk
No, I'm going to switch it. Don't worry. So something that struck me really, I was really actually surprised by this. And I know you're not bullshitting because Rohan Nadeem pushed you on, what are your other activities? And you said you love watching movies. And then you said what your favorite movie is. And you said Before Sunrise. I think I tweeted at this.
Before Sunset.
Before Sunset, yes. The second one. Yes. And that's when I knew this guy is not, isne ko Dark Knight into Sarani bola hai. He actually means business when he's giving the Before trilogy.
Godfather one too.
Yeah. And so I wanted to ask you, because I'm pretty sure you've taken in this pop culture as well. One of my favorite documentaries of all time is The Last Dance, right? Those 10 episodes I can watch anytime, anywhere.
I've watched it so many times. Too good. Too good.
You are very in tune with pop culture, is not just around Pakistan but around the world. You follow this content, you consume it. Why is there no such thing like The Last Dance or The Test for a Pakistan cricket team? Or let's go even granular for maybe a Multan Sultans.
So again, I don't want to criticize the PSL management, guy, but the questions I get, मैं क्या कर सकता हूँ? देखो, I don't know you're gonna ask me this question, but unfortunately, I'll have to criticize the PSL again, even though I swear I don't want to. I'm sick of them. I don't want to see them for a long time.
And you probably won't.
Inshallah. But ये बात obviously कई दफा हो चुकी है, ठीक है? So we've had people come to us. And people from the US, production houses, you've hired female coaches, ye wo, amazing thing. Pakistan, how is it going to be? How will they be received? So on. We would like to, make a documentary on this, and we want to, do this. I'm like, theek hai, zarur, we would love to. And we want creative control. Like, obviously, I don't want to have any input on creative. Aap kare, maze kare, we'll give you full access. Sab theek. So हमने कहा, बात की कि हमें access. We'll need more people in the dugout. So अभी होता है कि we have to say कि we want these many dugout accreditations for PMOA and these many for the ground, these many for so on. वो accreditation process होता है. And everyone has a limited number. तो हमने कहा ठीक है, obviously कुछ players होते हैं, coaches होते हैं, so on. तो हमने कहा ठीक है, but if we want to get, you know, these American documentary filmmakers, we obviously need to get the cameraman in. And they were like, नहीं, जो आपका नंबर है उसी के अंदर आपको करना पड़ेगा. I'm like, I'm not going to take a player out to get a cameraman in. So they're like, हाँ, देखेंगे. तो initial मैं उस हमारा तब plan था, we're going to come in and do what they call a sizzle reel. So we're going to make like a preview kind of it, and then sell it to, you know, these houses to get them interested to make a full feature length, either documentary or like a series. तो पहले हमने sizzle बनाया था, and it was just a month to the season. इतनी पुशबैक आई कि नहीं, कौन है, कोई नहीं है, हमारा एक्सेस नहीं हो सकता, कैमरा नहीं हो सकते डगआउट के अंदर. I'm like, guys, you're not understanding. This is not a regular thing I'm talking about. This is like a, you know, all access kind of thing. जो सिक्योरिटी वाले थे, लाइक नहीं, देखें आपके क्रेडिशन है, वो होएगा, कैमरा अंदर नहीं जाएंगे, अंदर ये नहीं जाएगा, आप लोग फोन से कर लें. I'm like, तुम लोग क्या बातें कर रहे हो यार? So obviously that fell through. But then this is not the criticism. If you think this is the criticism, this is not
This is the context.
This is just a preview तो मैं दे रहा हूँ. फिर इस साल बातें हो रही हैं, ठीक है, लोग वो PSL की बातें करें, PSL 10 biggest PSL ever, बातें हो रही हैं, more fluff with attitude, fluff. तो फिर किसने कहा, what would you guys think? बहुत हमारे वो हैं, like dramatic है हमारे PSL के dudes. What would you guys think for a all access documentary for the PSL? Saru ne kaha, what an idea. Too good. Everyone wants, all us owners want more FaceTime, ना कि कैमरे पे हम आएंगे, हम अपने बच्चों को दिखाएंगे, हम भी Netflix पे, you know, हम सब हो गए कि यार in. तो फिर मैंने कहा, I've already thought about this, so we should definitely do this. It's a great idea. And we should engage, like, you know, these production companies. This is the process. ऐसे होता है, फिर ये होता है. These are the main production companies, like the people who made Cricket Fever, Mumbai Indians. वो ये लोग हैं. You know, I started giving them things. Like, नहीं. अच्छा, how do I say this without making another controversy? Like,
Make a controversy. Do it. Why are you scared of a controversy, Ali bhai? Like,
okay. नहीं, I don't want to make
it.
these like Fahad Mustafa मेरा enemy बन गया था for no reason. तो अब फिर हमारी दोस्ती हो गई थी उसके
We're
बाद.
an hour and 20 minutes into this. जो सुनना चाह रहा है ना, अब से शुरू करेगा.
Anyway, उन्होंने कहा, yeah, I can't. If I say the name, it'll be hilarious, but I can't say the name. Definitely.
How about you say the name and we'll bleep it?
can't say it. They were like, हाँ, हम ये करेंगे, let's talk to some people. Anyway, but like, हाँ, cool. मैंने को ये देखा, by the way, Cricket Fever इंडो बनाया था, ये इसका था, give them some, you know, they come back के बात होगी हमारी dash सईद से. I'm like,
Humayun Saeed is directing.
नहीं, Humayun Saeed.
I'm just kidding.
I'm like, Fala Saeed. I'm like, who? के बस वो ना फला उनका वो बनाएगा और वो बड़ा इस पे इंटरेस्टेड है. I'm thinking, एक सेकंड, you're telling me you're making, मैं कहा, who are you making this for? Are you making this for PTV or are you making for like नहीं, international audience? I'm like, if you think Mr. Dash Saeed, who no one has even heard of, is going to be making this high level Netflix level documentary in मतलब, I'm just looking at them, why did I get excited? Why do I let them excite me every now and then? Because I know they will disappoint me with their mediocre mindsets. वो again, I'm not saying कि we हमारे पाकिस्तान में talent नहीं है, but if you're saying we want to make Cricket Fever kind of content and their company was here, हम एक बंदे को देंगे जिसने कभी ऐसे कोई चीज ना सोची, ना बनाई है, ना कभी वर्क की है, and we're thinking it'll be the same level. Come on यार, be real. So that's one of the times I'm like, why do I let them rope me in? क्यों मैं हो जाता हूँ excited? तो obviously story doesn't end. लोगों ने कहा done. All the other teams are like, oh yes, मजे, too good, ये हम करेंगे. क्या vision है आपकी? क्या सर, ये सब आपकी vision है. ये सब लगे हुए हैं. And this goes on कि अच्छा मैंने ये बात कर ली है. Now they're going to have meetings with you guys, and then they're going to have this, and then we're going to have this. बातें करते suddenly PSL starts and no one even remembers the conversation. There's no follow up. कहाँ गए Mr. Saeed? Where did he go? Where did all the conversations, all the planning and वो कहाँ है? No one knows. किसी ने पूछा भी नहीं. Because we all knew कि yeah, they couldn't do it because whether capacity नहीं थी, whether बात नहीं की, follow up नहीं की, budget ज़्यादा मांगा, who knows? But बात गई वाली बात थी. And then we're sitting here कि actually documentary बनानी चाहिए थी. So
I mean, हमने देखा है कि F1 की जो सीरीज थी Drive to Survive, उससे there's a whole new fan base of F1
I don't even
following
care about
Multan.
Formula One. I don't even care about Formula One. I'm obsessed with Drive to Survive.
Yeah.
That's what like good media will do to you. I think
Yeah.
like Islamabad United tried to do that last year, and they had in-house videographers and photographers,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they were
But
able to.
हमने भी किया था with like the draft and stuff, which was fine, which I
Yeah,
loved it. Ali Noor
it was
again,
good.
amazing
The
guy.
draft one was good.
Yeah,
We just watched it.
100% amazing. ठीक है, draft stuff was amazing, behind the scenes stuff, and Ali Noor is a genius, as we all know.
Yes,
But again, if we're making a Netflix level thing, Ali Noor would be a part of it. Obviously, is he going to be the guy who leads on his own? Probably not. वो खुद का guy, I can't do this. I'll work on it with the person and the team, but we need like these massive companies who work and do this for a living.
Because Ali bhai, what about baby steps? What about start from that
Karo.
Mr. Said Saab and then
Karo.
work your way up to Netflix?
Man, I didn't say no to Mr. Said.
Okay,
I was like, cool, let's do it. कहाँ गए?
fair enough. I see
मुझे
what
लगता है कि like I was the most attached to the Pakistan team 2021 और 22 पे when we got to see like some BTS footages of Pakistan like
Yeah,
winning
that's
against India Asia Cup
even
में.
though it was like on an iPhone, man. Like
yeah,
kuch to
that's
tha.
cool. Yeah, like the Barber team talks in the end and the roar in the end. Loved it. I love
Yeah.
that content.
Yeah, and I just feel like there's a huge missed opportunity for that kind of content. Like Pakistani, like if you build it, they will come वाला mindset. आप बना के
Yeah.
देखो तो, आप भेजो तो इनको, आवाम को दिखाओ तो.
100%, यार, 100%, but capacity नहीं है, mindset नहीं है, mediocre. We are so used to mediocrity that we just can't get above it.
My current frustrations with right now with a lot of the cricket setup, being a little bit lower level and just trying to be in the media aspect of it, is just there's way too many gatekeepers for very simple things.
Yeah.
And it's how we're like in a position where like I'm trying to find a way to like bypass these gatekeepers. Like ये हर जगह मौजूद है, एक के ऊपर एक. And there's like just giving you accreditation would give you the opportunity to do something new.
Yeah.
नहीं दे रहे.
Yeah, for no reason. के बात नहीं, बस हम इतनी देते हैं और यार obviously यार तुम इतनी देते हो, हम ये तो नहीं कह रहे कि हमारे मेरे बीवी बच्चों को डागो में डाल दो यार. I'm saying कि अगर डॉक्यूमेंट्री फिल्म मेकर्स आ रहे हैं, उनको एक्सेस दे दो. I'll show you all the raw footage. You can remove anything you want. जो आपकी गाइडलाइंस है, I will follow it. उन्होंने कहा बॉस इतने क्रेडिशन में हम देंगे आपको जो बाकियों को देते हैं, and then that's it. आपको शायद एक एक्स्ट्रा दे दें अगर आपने फलां से बात कर ली. I'm like यार, who am I dealing with? Who am I? And then I'm thinking कि यार मैं क्यों खर्चा करूं, क्यों मैं मेहनत करूं for these people who are making everything so difficult and don't want the PSL. देखो अगेन आगे चलो मुल्तान सुल्तान की डॉक्यूमेंट्री बने तो लीग को फायदा हो गया ना. जो क्रिकेट फीवर था मुंबई इंडियंस का, पूरे आईपीएल को फायदा हुआ है उसका. पीपल हु डोंट वॉच क्रिकेट वॉच दैट डॉक्यूमेंट्री. यार मैं लगा आईपीएल है, ये है, वो है, हर किसी को फायदा होता है, बट नहीं, माइंडसेट ही नहीं है.
Last year we did the thing for the Toronto Blue Jays के साथ हम लोग थे. We did a street stuff with them. We were just going to the streets of Toronto and asking people about cricket and whatnot. And a lot of people know the IPL because of that Netflix doc. A lot of people.
Yeah,
Hey,
look at
आपके
Drive
40 page
look
पे
at
आ गया
Drive
ना?
to Survive. I don't watch Formula 1. ठीक है, couldn't care less कि आजकल एक सर्कल में कितने लोग जा रहे हैं बारी. But I know every driver. I know their personalities. I know the friction in between them. I know the teammates who are fighting. I know the companies that are coming in. I know all of it because of that documentary, and I watch it every year. I'm like, oh, dude, can't wait. Take Wrexham, yaar. People don't care about Welsh football or English football. They are obsessed with Welcome to Wrexham, which is an amazing documentary, and it's great to see, yaar. क्यों नहीं कर सकते हम पाकिस्तान में, क्या वजह?
अली भाई हम जाए थोड़ा सा ना पॉजिटिव नोट पे खत्म करें तो लाइक लुकिंग फॉरवर्ड टू द PSL 11. आपने बोला आप स्काउट भी हैं, कौन से ऐसे एक्साइटिंग प्लेयर्स आ रहे हैं जिनको वी शुड नो अबाउट और आपने इनको आई बॉल किया हुआ है?
तो जो टीम्स क्वालिफाई नहीं करती ना, वी डोंट नीड इमर्जिंग प्लेयर्स. वी आर जस्ट वेटिंग, लिकिंग आवर लिप्स के अभी हसन नवाज आएगा, साहिबजादा फरहान आएगा, अबरार इंशाल्लाह आ जाएगा. आई डोंट नीड टू डू इट एनीमोर. People who have their top places filled, they need really good people in emerging and silver. मेरे तो emerging, I have Ubaid Shah, I have Shahid Aziz, who I love. Both young, amazing people. I have Yasir Khan, who's amazing. We have Kamran, Tayyib, सब available होंगे silver में. तो मेरे तो नीचे वाले एरिया पूरा full है. I am looking for my platinum picks, my diamond picks, my gold picks. So I have no reason to scout these up and coming guys. And that's the nature of the structure.
We've already like sort of touched upon maybe there's going to be more teams added next year. तो अगर ये होता है तो आपको
Okay. So what I would love is for 2 teams definitely to be added, make it into a team competition, and this year really shake things up. आपका normally हमारे 8 tensions होते हैं. आपका देखो 2 टीमें add हो रही हैं. We wanna shake it up. We've had a 10-year stint when everyone's people have had like Shadab has been Islamabad's guy, Shaheen has been Lahore's guy. Everyone has had like a core person. Now, 10 years have passed. We're moving towards a new phase in Pakistan cricket also. So let's shake it up. We want Hassan Nawaz and these guys to be the main people in their teams, So
Yeah.
let's have 3 retentions per team and really spread it out. And that, I think, would make it super interesting as opposed to them getting the leftovers, the new teams, and then aisa becoming competitive. Let's shake it up, thak karke, and let's have suddenly 8 competitive teams led by young, exciting players, obviously Hassan Nawaz and Multan Sultan, and have a really fun next 10 years. This is what I think should happen.
You're already eyeing Hassan Nawaz. You've said his name more times than you said anything.
He's from South Punjab. It just makes sense. We need batters. It just has to happen.
अगर ये इस तरीके से हो तो Saim, please come back to Karachi, man. Make it happen. Make us love Karachi Kings again.
Already ऊपर हो गया, so अब तो कहीं नहीं जा रहा.
Achha, Ali bhai, on this
same, there was a lot of controversy, which I'll tell you guys off the field about this.
Yes,
I wanted
100%.
to touch base on this. Like, what do you think of players जो specific team से नहीं खेलना चाह रहे? For example, what if Faisal Akram says, Ali bhai, thank you for your support, लेकिन मुझे फला टीम से इस कैटेगरी में ऑफर आ रही है.
Love it. खेलो. So अब इसमें खेलो. Yes. Again, we don't own the league. We don't own the players. We are caretakers. The actual goal is that the players should be benefiting from this league, from the categories, from the money they're getting. This is a life-changing amount of money. If they get picked up in the national team and they get into a higher category, their entire life will change. Their life will change. Their family life will change. I know these guys personally. I know how many people they're feeding, how many dependents they have, how many brothers, sisters, cousins, whose parents are separated, who's supporting their mother, whose father has died. I know the stories. I've been to their houses. I know them. I would never stop them from getting a better gig. And I have never been in a situation where I'm like, nahin, main tumhe itne paise dunga. Look what I've done for you all my life. And ye wo. It's not the case. I'll give an example of our players. We have a department team in the Pakistan domestic circuit in grade 2. Okay? Players who are in my academy in Lodra, who obviously we have found obviously playing table cricket when they were like 10 years old, and they've been with us for the past 12 years. They were like, Ali bhai, we would obviously want to play in your grade 2 team, but we have an offer from first class team. I'm like, bro, don't even think about it. If you're going to play first class and, make it your career, that's all I want for you. All I've ever wanted for you was to succeed. If Faisal Akram says, I'm not the main spinner in this team, I'm going to be the main spinner in the other team, I'm like, bro, so bismillah, I will go to your match and root for you. Because that is what we want. That's what we want to see. Why would we ever stop them? Obviously, if it's a situation where he's my platinum player and I'm giving them 200,000, someone's giving them 205,000, मैं कहूँगा चुप करके बैठो यार, मेरा budget जितना है, मैं 5 साल के लिए ये करोगे तो मुंह तोड़ दूंगा, चुप करके बैठो. Obviously,
do you think
when I'm not playing or I am playing, it's a completely different situation. Yeah, it's livelihood.
Do you think a lot of the other owners share your same sentiment?
I haven't discussed it with them. Couldn't say.
Yeah, what we've heard is that some owners were like, तुम थे क्या, तुमको मैंने पिक किया था इस कैटेगरी में, तुम्हें इस टीम में ड्रॉप किया था, अब तुम जाना चाह रहे हो, ऐसे कैसे हो सकता है?
Mr. Saeed,
ड्रॉप नहीं जाना.
Blackmail तो हम सब करेंगे. Anyone is leaving, no one likes it. But if you think of it, if you have the mindset of, okay, I love you as a player and I want to see you do well. Like, for example, when I love Hassan Ali. I love Hassan Ali, always love Hassan Ali. When he did well against us in our first game, obviously we were sad we lost the game, but I'm like, I'm happy it was Hassan. Because I was bowling 140, he was bowling so well, so much energy, he was feeling good, he looked so happy after so long. I was like, yeah, Hassan, I'm just so happy that you are doing well. And I tweeted on that game, inshallah, if he continues the season, I want to see him in the Pakistan team. And he's back in the Pakistan team, and I'm so happy. He's not my player, I don't really know him that well. I'm just a fan, and I'm so happy that he has played so well this season, even though he destroyed us every time. But he's back in the Pakistan team, and I'm so happy for it.
We have similar feelings for Virat Kohli. We were in Dubai for the Champions Trophy in February, and proper what lagi hamari. But at the end, we were leaving, and Kohli was like 75 back at them. Bashar was like, maybe we should say, maybe something magical will happen, and it did. And he was like, you know what, harna to hame tha. At least we saw some greatness.
Bilkul.
Right? How in tuned are you with cricket pop culture? Like, are you following the podcast? Are you are you listening to all these things? Do you listen to Wasay Iffi? Like, do you know who they are?
Not only do I know them, they are icons. They are icons of Pakistan. When they sit on that bench, I'm like, bro, I cannot wait. I cannot wait.
Shit's about to go
Yeah,
down.
The red
Legends.
chairs.
Yeah, legends. And
Yes.
one time they mentioned me. I was like, oh my God, what is this? What is this life? They mentioned my name. I was like, oh my God. I feel so famous right now. Okay, they have mentioned me. I've sent that clip to my friends. Guys, I have been mentioned.
Yes. No, we
Legend.
made it. एक दफा Wasay Iffi, one of them had also commented on one of our reels, and we were like, guys, it's happened. We're here.
Icons.
No, I'm glad. I'm so glad that you're as down to earth as you seem. And we were, a lot of people have been
Bad.
asking us to do this interview, and we were like हम लोग क्या नहीं बात करेंगे, but we were able to pull something completely different out of it. I'm glad we were able to touch a lot of different things.
Yep.
There's just a couple more questions from our Patreon members.
And just on this point, I just want to say the content you guys made with the Islamabad team last year was phenomenal. Like the personal stuff that you got from the players, it was just a joy to watch how you were able to make them so comfortable and talk about stuff that again no one really asks them and get them to feel the things they felt in the interviews, and it came across so well. And when I was told you guys want to interview me, I was super happy because I've been a fan of yours since that season.
Appreciate it. Thanks a lot. We're just going to ask you a couple more questions from our Patreon. Yep. Shahrukh Farhan from our Patreon asks, if you could join any PSL team as a player from season 1 to 10, purely based on vibes and good times, which team would it be and why?
Oof.
We've already established you're a good player.
Islamabad, even though I generally hate seeing them win, I feel they really take care of their players and think of them more as a long-term thing than some of the other teams who are more into chopping and changing. Lahore obviously love their players, but I feel they love a select group of players they're obsessed with, whereas a lot of other people are like, "Aare ja rahe hote hain," it's a different thing. So I think Islam, I would definitely be a bad player. I wouldn't be like a star player. So as a not an elite player, I think Islamabad would take good care of me.
Good answer.
And Hanif Malik would be a batting coach, so I could become number 7.
छक्के आएंगे फिर तो.
छक्के तो already मारता हूँ, but 7 पे आ जाऊंगा.
Zain Ali asked, if you were running PSL, what are 3 things you would immediately do first?
Oh, I would definitely fire a lot of people. Okay, jokes aside.
तीन तो लोग, ढाई तो लोग काम करते हैं.
Obviously, joke to nahi, I would actually fire everyone currently, but
all 2.5 of them.
All 2.5 of them. Maybe I'll keep the half. Half isn't bad. I'll tell you what I would do. I would sit everyone down and say, guys, listen, we are a multi-million-dollar company. Multi-billion. Okay? We have to think of ourselves not as a PCB offshoot, but as a company equivalent to an MNC in Lahore, in Pakistan. Okay? So if we need to be recruiting people that Nestle would want to recruit, we should be recruiting people that Engro wants to recruit, or people who have worked there and have stagnated in the job. We need to post those guys, like the high potential guys in Nestle, in Reckitt Benckiser, in P&G, in whichever relevant company we would think of. These are the guys we want as employees in this company, and this is the mindset. If I was running PSL, I would make this mindset clear to everyone. We're talking about finance guy, we want this level of finance guy. If we want marketing guy, we want this level of marketing guy. We want international quality people who have gone abroad and worked and have come back. This is the cream of the crop that we can get because people love cricket. If a high quality guy who's worked abroad has come back, and there's so many of them, I hire them in my sugar mill. Sugar mill mein hum aise log hire kare hote hain bechare, which is extremely non-sexy. But getting those people to a sexy PSL gig, they would bite their left arm to do it. We can get these people. And we don't need like 100 of them. We need maybe 3, 4 absolute high quality, non-ranker, merit-based guys. And they will become the core team for the next 10 years. This is the mindset I would explain to everyone that we must have.
Yeah. No, well said.
Ali bhai, aakhir mein mere ek sawal hai. If you could pick any player, past, present, local, foreign, to be in Multan Sultans, who would it be?
I would pick. So we've had these conversations at the dinner table with our coaches. Okay, we would do a draft, mock draft of people who have never played T20, and who would we pick?
Oh, yeah.
Not who haven't played T20, but who have barely played T20. And there's 3 names that really come to mind. One, obviously, is Imran Khan. As a genuine all-rounder batter, he had the power, he had the mentality. As a bowler, he would be power play, death, any phase he would bowl. Obviously, batting me is amazing. He had the ability to hit boundaries whenever he wanted. So obviously, he'd be one. In the other 2, One is Wasim Akram. Obviously, the way he would make that new ball talk, and the way he could come in and bat at number 7 is like a reliable, proper batter. And fun fact for you guys, if you don't know this, the first ever 6 hit in the history of T20 was Wasim Akram for Hampshire. So there's some pedigree there also. But he would be like your opening bowler and death bowler and number 7, number 6 batter. Matlab, usse better kya hoga? Wo bhi lefty.
Maze.
And the absolute number 1 pick for any T20. And I'm not going to tell you the name initially. I'll tell you a story first. When I first went to England to interview CricViz to get them on board, it's like PSL 3-4 ki baat hai. And we walk in, and one of our directors is there. We walk in, and there's 2 young guys sitting there. One is an analyst, and one is like the sales guy who talks to people and gets business on board. So we sit down, they give us a whole presentation. कि हम ये करते हैं, we do Hawkeye live data. ये वो हमारा वो दिखा रहे थे अपने like sets of data they have and the players and the algorithm and so on. So उन्हें presentation खत्म की. मैंने कहा, guys, I have one question. What is the most valuable kind of player in the PSL? And the guy looks to the analyst thinks about it, and he goes, a wrist spinner who can bat.
Oh, I know exactly what you're gonna say.
Exactly. And
I
that
know
is the guy
exactly
we
what you're
hired.
gonna say anyway. I know the name coming.
That is the guy we hired as our analyst in the season as well, because I had thought about this a lot. And if any team has one, they are worth their weight in gold. And I'll give you 2 examples of some of these legendary players. One is Rashid Khan, who is a gun wrist spinner who can bat. The other one, Sunil Narayan, who had become an opener. So having a 4-over pakka frontline spinner who is your opener, that is the ultimate dream of any franchise. And obviously, the person I will pick as my ultimate greatest ever PSL player is none other than the legend Shahid Afridi.
Yes,
4-over
absolutely.
spin, gun fielder, and he will open the batting. इससे बेहतर आप बना ही नहीं सकते वो franchise cricket का player. तो ये
And
कहीं
you
नहीं
would pick him as an opener.
obviously I'm picking him as an emerging player when he's actually in his 20s, but he's 19 on paper, and he's going to be my emerging player for 3 years, and he's my opener and my 4 overs bowler. Matlab, this is the dream pick.
Ali bhai, you don't know how we just have synced now as just like the guys.
What did you think of Cricinfo naming Rashid Khan as the number 1 T20 player, and then Shahid Afridi was like number 23 or
24,
24?
yeah. It's a crime.
देखो, obviously recency bias hai. What he's actually done on the field has to be given weightage over potential. So he's playing in his prime in T20. Shahid Afridi was playing obviously the latter part of his career in T20s. Obviously, you have to take that into account. But in prime, when you would talk of someone at their prime, it's hard to argue that Shahid Afridi would not be the greatest ever emerging player pick in any franchise.
With Shahid Afridi, the impact of Shahid Afridi on at least my personal life, we've talked many times about this in the podcast. I had a picture of him. 2007-8 we went to play the end. We wanted to see the National T20 Cup where Sialco Stallions and Karachi Zebras were playing.
Legends,
And
yeah.
Shahid Afridi ka poster big raha tha Karachi Stadium, and I bought that poster. It was on my wall for 5 years. We've met a lot of players over the years, but Shahid Afridi still, I'm always starstruck.
Also, the most firmest handshake ever.
If aura could be defined
Yes.
in Pakistani cricket, either Imran Khan or Shahid Afridi.
I totally agree.
By the way, I obviously was in our team, so I've spent time with him. He is still to this day so goddamn handsome. It is mesmerizing. Mom, I'm just looking at him like, मैं अब serious conversation कैसे कर सकता हूँ when this guy is just emitting from him. Aura is just coming out every orifice. He is just too cool, too charismatic, too handsome. Even now, I remember when I went to Shaheen Afridi's wedding. Now, I sat there. I'm like, yeah, Shaheen, I love you, but it can't be easy having your father-in-law be more handsome than you. Yeah, it can't be. Ali bhai, aaj bhi, I'm like, Shaheen, I love you. I think you're a stud, but look at him. Yeah, he's walking by. People are following him. He was it's just too cool. He's just too cool.
Ali bhai, we were a bit younger than you, and we remember like the heyday of Shahid Afridi when he was captain of Pakistan team. I remember hamari gali mein, all the kids wanted that little brown puff of hair on his head and the short hair. 2011 mein, he cut his hair for the World Cup, and like we had that haircut. Usse pehle he was like golden bar, like sab kuch. He was an icon.
Icon.
Definitely, we've related so closely.
I remember his like Pepsi ads, yaar.
Yeah.
People watch those ads like, oh my god, too cool.
And I have a hot take. We're doing a deep dive on Shahid Afridi, the test batsman. He has an average of 36, 5 centuries. And I think that if I were to ever make a test 11, he probably would go in my number 1 or 2 spot.
Also like 87 strike rate, I think.
87
Massive
strike
call.
rate,
Massive
wristy spinner, has 2 fifers. Like, why not? You know?
Massive call. Massive. This
Yeah.
is obviously a longer debate, but yeah, absolute.
Yeah, for sure.
absolute.
No, I appreciate your time very much. Hopefully, you had fun as well, and we'll
I
be
enjoyed
able
it.
to do.
I always love talking about cricket.
We'll be able to do round 2 sometime soon as well. And obviously now have you on record for playing a 1-on-1 with us. So
As
whenever
long
that
as you
happens,
guys are wearing helmets, I am in.
well, we always helmet or box के बगैर तो मैं cricket खेलते ही नहीं हूँ यार. तो आप tension नहीं लें. Thank you for your time as well. I'm just gonna ask you to stay for a couple more minutes. I'm just gonna stop this.